Commander Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the scout ship Liberty and watched the galaxy slowly turn before him. It had been 30,000 years since any human had seen this view. The stars looked the same, but he knew everything had changed. "Sir, we are picking up signals from the inner systems," said Lisa Grant from her station. She was his navigation officer and had been with him for the long journey from beyond the rim. "The chatter is heavy. Lots of ship traffic." Morrison nodded. "What kind of signals, Lisa?" "Trade routes, shipping manifests, news broadcasts. All in the common galactic tongue. But, sir, there is something strange about the broadcasts." Ryan Bell looked up from his tactical station. He was their weapons expert and always alert for danger. "What kind of strange?" Lisa frowned at her screen. "They keep talking about the old human threat. How the galaxy was saved from human expansion. They make it sound like we were monsters." Morrison felt his jaw tighten. His people had left this galaxy peacefully. They had been explorers and traders, not conquerors. When the other species had demanded they leave, humans had packed up their ships and gone into the dark between galaxies. They had spent 30,000 years building new worlds and new technology in the void. "Show me the broadcasts," Morrison sighed. The main screen lit up with alien faces speaking in the trade language. A blue-skinned hegemony official was giving what looked like a history lesson. His words made Morrison's blood run cold. "The human plague nearly destroyed our peaceful galaxy," the alien said. "They spread like a virus, taking world after world. Their hunger for expansion knew no limits. Only the brave action of the hegemony saved us from total destruction." "That is a lie," Ryan said quietly. "My grandfather told me the real story. We were peaceful. We shared our technology. We helped build trade routes." Morrison turned off the broadcast. "It seems they have rewritten history. The question is why." Lisa was scanning deeper into the galaxy now. Her face went pale. "Sir, I am picking up something else. The old human colonies. They are still there, but the signals are wrong." "Wrong? How?" "No human signals. Just mining operations and work camps. Massive ones." Morrison moved to her station and looked at the data. What he saw made him sick. Their old worlds had been turned into strip mines. The beautiful cities they had built were gone. In their place were ugly factories and prison camps. "Are there any humans left down there?" he asked. Lisa worked her controls for several minutes. Finally, she looked up with tears in her eyes. "I cannot tell, sir. If there are, they are not free." Ryan stood up from his station. "Sir, we should contact the fleet. Tell Admiral Martinez." "What we found?" Morrison shook his head. "Not yet. We need more information first. If we bring the fleet in now, it will be a war. A lot of good people will die." He looked at his crew. Lisa and Ryan were good officers. They had trained for this mission their whole lives. Behind them in the dark space between galaxies, 10,000 human ships waited. Each ship carried families, children, and hope for a new beginning. Morrison would not waste their lives on revenge. "We go in quiet," he said. "We learn what really happened here. We find out who is in charge now and what they did to our people." Lisa nodded. "The ship is ready for stealth operations, sir. We can look like a standard cargo hauler." "Good. Ryan, power down all our advanced systems. We use only basic tech that matches this time period. No one can know who we really are." Ryan began shutting down their advanced weapons and shields. The Liberty was far beyond anything this galaxy had ever seen. 30,000 years of development in the dark had made human technology incredible. But they had to hide that power. "For now, sir," Lisa said, "I am reading a major space station near the old Sol system. It looks like some kind of administrative center." Morrison felt pain in his chest. Sol was where Earth had been. His home world. Take us in slowly. We are just another cargo ship looking for work. The Liberty began moving toward the inner galaxy. As they traveled, they listened to more broadcasts. Each one made Morrison angrier. The aliens spoke of humans, like they were demons. They told stories of human cruelty that never happened. They painted pictures of human greed that were pure lies. They really believe this, Lisa said after listening to a children's program about the evil humans. It is not just propaganda. They actually think we were monsters. Or someone wants them to think that, Ryan said. This kind of rewrite takes planning, organization, power. Morrison agreed. Someone had worked very hard to erase the truth about humanity. The question was who and why. As they got closer to the core systems, he began to see the answer. The galaxy was not the free alliance of species they had left behind. Now there was only the hegemony. One government ruled everything. One voice controlled all the broadcasts. One military kept order on every world. A dictatorship, Morrison said quietly. They turned the galaxy into a prison. And they blamed us for it, Ryan added. Morrison looked at the stars ahead. Somewhere in that direction was Earth. Or what was left of it? Somewhere out there were the answers they needed. And somewhere in the dark behind them, Admiral Martinez waited with the most powerful fleet in human history. We keep going, Morrison said. We learn their secrets. Then we decide what to do about them. The Liberty flew on into the heart of the galaxy, carrying 3 humans into a world that had forgotten their true nature. Captain Amy Stone checked her disguise one more time before leaving the modified freighter Wanderer. She wore the rough clothes of a cargo worker and carried fake identity papers that said she was from a mining colony. Her ship looked old and broken, but hidden inside were some of the most advanced systems humanity had ever built. Remember, we are just traders looking for work, she told her team. Chris Taylor nodded from his position at the communications console. He would monitor all broadcasts and try to make contact with any resistance groups. Dr. Kate Murphy was studying alien biology files, preparing to blend in with the diverse population of the trading station. The station was huge, bigger than any human city. Thousands of ships docked here every day, bringing goods from across the galaxy. Amy walked through the crowded corridors and listened to dozens of different languages. But everywhere she looked, she saw the same thing. Fear. The aliens kept there. Heads down. They spoke in whispers. Security guards in hegemony uniforms watched from every corner. This was not the free trading hub she expected. This was a police state. Captain, Chris said through her earpiece, I am picking up encrypted signals. Someone is broadcasting on old resistance frequencies. Amy found a quiet corner and pretended to check cargo manifests on her tablet. Can you trace it? Working. On it. The signal is bouncing through multiple relays. Whoever is sending this knows what they are doing. Dr. Murphy's voice joined the conversation. I am in the medical bay. The things I am seeing here are terrible. Malnutrition, overwork, injuries from industrial accidents. These people are slaves. Amy felt sick. Are you safe? Yes, but barely. The medical staff here are trying to help, but they have almost nothing to work with. A hegemony takes everything and gives back scraps. Amy continued walking through the station. In the commercial district, she saw stores full of luxury goods, but only hegemony officials could afford them. The workers lived in cramped quarters and ate basic rations. The contrast was shocking. I have something, Chris said. There is a meeting tonight in Section 7. The signal mentioned remembering the truth. I think we found our resistance. That evening, Amy made her way to Section 7. It was the oldest part of the station, full of maintenance tunnels and storage areas. She followed Chris's directions to an abandoned cargo bay deep in the station's belly dot inside, she found about 20 aliens from different species. They looked nervous but determined. An old Delaxian with gray scales stepped forward. His name was Korth, and he had kind eyes that reminded Amy of her grandfather. "You are new here," Korth said. "Who sent you?" Amy had prepared for this moment. "I heard whispers about people who remember the old days, before the hegemony controlled everything." Korth studied her for a long moment. The others watched carefully. Finally he nodded. "Come, sit. We will share our stories." What Amy heard that night changed everything. The Resistance members told her about the galaxy before the hegemony. It had been a loose alliance of free worlds. Each species governed itself. Trade was open. Wars were rare. Then the humans came, said a four-armed Nexarian named Vels. They were different from us. They did not want to rule or control. They wanted to cooperate. The humans shared their technology freely, added a crystal being called Zenth. They helped us build better ships, better communication systems. They taught us new ways to grow food and heal the sick. Korth's voice grew sad. The hegemony leaders saw this cooperation as a threat. If people learned to work together without rulers, what would happen to their power? Amy leaned forward. "What did they do?" "They started spreading lies," Vel said. "Small ones at first. They said humans were taking too much, that they were pushing other species out of good systems. The lies grew bigger and bigger. They staged attacks and blamed humans," Zent added. "They made fake evidence of human aggression. They controlled the news broadcasts and told everyone that humans were dangerous. The humans tried to defend themselves," Korth said, "but the hegemony had already poisoned too many minds. In the end, the humans chose to leave rather than fight a war." Amy felt tears in her eyes. "And then?" "The hegemony said they had defeated the human threat," Val said bitterly. "They used that victory to seize control of everything. They said the galaxy needed strong leadership to prevent another human invasion. That was 30,000 years ago," Korth said. "Since then, they have ruled with absolute power. Anyone who questions them disappears. Anyone who remembers the truth is silenced." Amy made a decision. These people deserve to know. What if I told you the humans never really left? What if they just went away to grow stronger? The room went silent. The aliens stared at her. "Are you saying," Korth whispered, "that humans still exist?" Amy nodded slowly. "I am saying more than that. I am saying they're coming back." The reaction was immediate. Some of the aliens looked hopeful. Others looked terrified. Val spoke for all of them. "If humans return, the hegemony will destroy this entire galaxy before giving up power." "Not if we are ready for them," Amy said. "Not if we have allies. Not if we know their weaknesses." Dr. Murphy's voice came through Amy's earpiece. "Captain, I found something important. The hegemony has been using mind control drugs in the water supply. That is how they keep people obedient." Amy looked at the resistance members. "There are things you do not know about the hegemony. Things we can help you discover. But first, I need to know if you are willing to fight for your freedom." Korth stood up slowly. His old body shook, but his voice was strong. "We have been fighting for 30,000 years. We just never had hope before." One by one, the other aliens stood up. They were tired and scared, but they were ready. Amy smiled. "Then let me tell you about the fleet that is waiting in the dark between galaxies. Let me tell you about 10,000 ships, full of humans who never forgot this place. Let me tell you about the technology that will break the hegemony's chains forever." That night, the Resistance learned that they were not alone, and Amy learned that the galaxy was ready for change. The only question now was whether they could survive long enough to see it happen. Admiral Ben Carter floated in the command center of the massive ship Destiny, studying the holographic map of the galaxy. Red dots marked hegemony strongholds. Blue dots showed resistance cells that Captain Stone had contacted. Green dots were the hidden human colonies that somehow survived 30,000 years of hiding. "The timing could not be better," said Major Nicole Adams, his chief of staff. She pointed to several systems on the outer rim. According to Stone's reports, at least 6 major species are planning uprisings. They are just waiting for a sign that they can win. Carter nodded. "And our hidden colonies?" 17 confirmed settlements, all in systems the hegemony thinks are empty. They have been living in underground cities and asteroid bases. Some of them still have working technology. From the old days, the Admiral felt proud and sad at the same time. These humans had survived by hiding like mice while their home galaxy suffered under tyranny. But they had kept human culture alive. They had raised children who knew the truth about their history. "Sir," came a voice from the communication station. "We have a priority message from Lieutenant Commander Sam Davis. He is at Kepler Prime." Carter turned toward the screen. Sam Davis was leading a rescue mission to one of the hidden colonies. His young face looked tired but determined. "Admiral, we have a situation here," Davis said. "The colony is intact, but they are under attack. Hegemony forces found them 3 days ago. The colonists are fighting back, but they cannot hold much longer." Carter felt his heart race. If one of their colonies was discovered, it meant their secret was out. How many hegemony ships? "A full battle group, sir. 12 heavy cruisers and support vessels. They are not taking prisoners. This is an extermination mission." Major Adams looked at Carter. "Sir, if we move to help them, we reveal ourselves. The whole plan could be ruined." Carter stared at the screen. On Kepler Prime, 3,000 humans were about to die. They were teachers, farmers, engineers, and children who had never hurt anyone. They had spent their whole lives hiding from the galaxy that hated them. "Sam, what are your mission parameters?" Carter asked. "You told me to observe only, sir. Do not engage unless absolutely necessary." Carter made his decision. "I am changing." "Your orders. Save those people." "Sir, my ship cannot fight 12 cruisers. You will not be alone." "Nicole, signal the Third Fleet. Tell them to decloak at Kepler Prime. Full battle formation." Adams stared at him. "Sir, that is 300 ships. The hegemony will know we are back." "They were going to find out eventually," Carter said. "Better they learn it while we are saving innocent lives." On the screen, Davis smiled. "Thank you." "Sir, we will not let them down." The connection ended. Carter turned to address his bridge crew. "Send a message to all fleet commanders. Operation Homecoming begins now. Phase 1 is the liberation of Kepler Prime." 2 hours later, Sam Davis watched his instruments as space around Kepler Prime filled with human ships. They appeared out of nowhere, their advanced stealth systems dropping away to reveal the most beautiful sight he had ever seen. Sleek vessels, with clean lines and powerful weapons. Ships that looked like Hope. The hegemony battle group was caught completely off guard. Their commander, a brutal Zarian named General Vask, had been preparing to bomb the human settlement when his sensors went crazy. "What is happening?" Vask roared at his bridge crew. Where did these ships come from? His tactical officer was speechless. "Sir, I count 297 unknown vessels. Their technology signatures do not match anything in our database." "It must be human ships," Vask said. "But humans are extinct. We made sure of that." Davis opened a communication. "Channel to the hegemony fleet. General Vask, this is Lieutenant Commander Sam Davis of the Human Colonial Navy. You have 60 seconds to withdraw from this system." Vask's ugly face appeared on screen. His green skin was dark with rage. Impossible. Humans were destroyed long ago. You are some kind of trick. No trick, General. We left your galaxy 30,000 years ago. Now we are back. Withdraw your forces, or we will remove them. You are outnumbered, Vask snarled. 12 ships against 300 means nothing. Our weapons are superior. Davis almost felt sorry for him. General, our technology has had 30,000 years to advance. Your weapons cannot even penetrate our shields. Last chance to leave peacefully. Vask cut the communication and ordered his ships to attack. The hegemony cruisers opened fire with everything they had. Massive energy beams and missile swarms rushed toward the human fleet. The humans did not even bother to dodge. The attacks hit their shields and simply vanished, absorbed by defensive systems that turned energy into harmless light. It was like throwing rocks at a mountain. Davis shook his head. All ships, minimal force response. Disable their weapons and engines. Take prisoners if possible. The human fleet fired once. Precisely targeted beams struck each hegemony ship exactly where they needed to. In 30 seconds, the entire enemy battle group was floating helplessly in space, their weapons destroyed and their engines dead. On the planet below, the hidden human colonists cheered as they watched their rescuers land. Children who had never seen the surface in daylight ran through the settlement, laughing and crying at the same time. Davis landed his shuttle near the main colony complex. An elderly woman named Helen Foster met him at the landing pad. She had been the colony leader for 40 years, keeping hope alive in the darkest times. "We never stopped believing you would come back," she said with tears in her eyes. "My grandmother told me stories about the great ships that would return someday." Davis hugged her gently. "We are here now. You are safe. All of you are safe." But even as he spoke, he knew the easy part was over. News of the battle at Kepler Prime would spread across the galaxy in hours. The hegemony would mobilize every ship they had. The secret was out, and the real war was about to begin. On the Destiny, Admiral Carter received reports from across the galaxy. The resistance cells were activating. Hidden weapons caches were being opened. Slave workers were walking away from their posts. The spark had been lit. "Sir," Major Adams said, "we are receiving surrender requests from 17 hegemony outposts. They want to join us." Carter smiled for the first time in years. "Tell them they are welcome, but warn them that this is just the beginning. The hegemony will not give up without a fight." As if summoned by his words, the long-range sensors detected massive fleet movements throughout the core systems. The hegemony was mobilizing for war, but they had no idea what they were really facing. Humanity had returned, and this time they would not run away. Fleet Admiral Paul Martinez stood before the massive holographic display showing the entire galaxy. 10,000 green dots represented human ships, all hidden in dark space between star systems. Today, that would change. Today, the galaxy would learn the truth. "All fleet commanders report ready," said his communications officer. "Every ship is in position." Martinez looked at the chronometer. In 30 minutes, humanity would reveal itself to the galaxy for the first time in 30,000 years. He thought about all the people who had died waiting for this moment. All the children born in exile who dreamed of seeing their ancestral home. "Begin the broadcast preparation," Martinez ordered. "Make sure every communication system in the galaxy receives our message." Commander Jennifer Brooks worked at her diplomatic station, making final adjustments to the message they would send. She had spent months crafting words that would cut through 30,000 years of lies and propaganda. "Admiral, the message is ready," Brooks said. "We have evidence of hegemony crimes, historical records of the real events, and testimony from resistance members across the galaxy." "Good. What about our alien allies? All resistance cells are standing by. The moment we reveal ourselves, they will begin broadcasting the truth from their own worlds. The hegemony will not be able to silence everyone at once. Martinez nodded. The plan was simple but effective. When the human fleet appeared, it would not be as conquerors, but as liberators. Every ship would broadcast evidence of hegemony lies while providing protection to rebelling worlds. On the other side of the galaxy, Supreme Chancellor Vextar sat in his war room surrounded by his generals. The blue-skinned dictator had ruled the hegemony for 300 years, and he was not about to let some human survivors threaten his empire. How many ships do we estimate they have? Vextar asked his military commander, General Krex. Based on the Kepler Prime incident, we believe 50 to 100 vessels, Chancellor. Advanced, but still outnumbered by our fleets. Vextar smiled coldly. Then we destroy them quickly before they can spread their lies. Send the order to all sectors. Any ship that does not surrender immediately is to be destroyed. What about civilian casualties, Chancellor? There are no civilians when it comes to the human threat. They are all enemies of galactic peace. Back on the human flagship, Martinez counted down the final seconds. All ships, prepare for simultaneous decloak. Execute Operation Truth in 10, 9, 8. Across hundreds of star systems, human ships shimmered into existence. Small cargo vessels revealed themselves as massive battleships. Asteroid miners turned out to be carriers full of fighters. Empty space suddenly filled with the largest fleet the galaxy had ever seen. The effect was immediate and stunning. On every inhabited world, people looked up to see human ships appearing in their skies. The vessels did not attack or threaten. Instead, they began broadcasting. Martinez's voice reached every communication device in the galaxy. People of the galaxy, we are the humans you were told were extinct. We are not your enemies. We never were. For 30,000 years, you have been lied to about who we are and why we left. On the industrial world of Nexus 7, alien workers stopped their machines to listen. On the pleasure planet of Riloth, slaves and the luxury resorts gathered around screens. On the military base at Sector Command, hegemony officers stared in shock at their displays. The hegemony told you we were conquerors, Martinez continued. They said we threatened galactic peace. This is false. We left because we chose peace over war. We went into the dark spaces beyond your galaxy to build new homes rather than fight our former friends. Jennifer Brooks activated the next part of their plan. Historical records flooded every network in the galaxy. Videos of humans helping alien colonies. Trade agreements that benefited all species. Medical advances shared freely. The evidence was overwhelming. On the trading station where Captain Stone had met the resistance, Korth watched the broadcasts with tears in his eyes. Around him, other aliens realized they had been lied to their entire lives. The humans had been helpers, not destroyers, but the hegemony fought back. Chancellor Vextar appeared on official channels, his face twisted with rage. Do not believe these lies. The humans have returned to finish what they started. They want to enslave you all. His words fell flat. Too many people were seeing the truth. On world after world, populations began to rise up against their hegemony governors. The lies that had held the empire together for centuries crumbled in a single day. General Krex rushed into Vextar's chamber with terrible news. Chancellor, we have uprisings on over 3,000 worlds. Our local commanders are requesting immediate reinforcement. How many ships do the humans actually have? Vextar demanded. Our new estimate is 10,000 vessels, Chancellor. They have been hiding their true strength. Vextar's face went white. 10,000 ships with advanced technology could challenge his entire empire, but he was not ready to surrender his power. "Order all loyal fleets to converge on the capital system," he commanded. "We make our final stand here. Send a message to all worlds. Anyone who sides with the humans will be destroyed." But his threats were empty. On planet after planet, hegemony troops found themselves outnumbered by rebelling populations. Human ships arrived not as invaders, but as protectors, sharing medical supplies and food with hungry people. Dr. Kate Murphy landed on the plague world of Epsilon, Prime with a team of human medics. The population had been dying from a disease the hegemony refused to cure. Within hours, human medicine had the outbreak under control. "Why are you helping us?" asked a sick alien child as Murphy treated her with advanced healing technology. "Because that is what friends do," Murphy replied. "We help each other." Across the galaxy, similar scenes played out. Human engineers repaired broken infrastructure. Human farmers shared advanced growing techniques. Human teachers began telling the real history of the galaxy. Commander Brooks established communication with leaders from dozens of species. They were eager to join a new alliance based on cooperation instead of fear. "We want to build something better," she told them. "A galaxy where all species are free to choose their own path. A place where knowledge is shared, not hoarded. A home where no one rules through fear." The response was overwhelming. Within days, over half the galaxy had declared independence from the hegemony. Ancient trade agreements were renewed. Species that had been enemies for millennia began talking peace. But Chancellor Vextar was not finished. As his empire collapsed around him, he gathered his remaining forces for one final assault. He would rather destroy the galaxy than lose control of it. Admiral Martinez received the intelligence reports with growing concern. "How many ships is he massing at the capital?" "Over 5,000, Admiral. He is stripping defenses from everywhere else." Martinez looked at the tactical display. The final battle would be massive and bloody. But it had to be fought. The galaxy would never be free until the hegemony's power was broken forever. "Send word to all human fleets," Martinez ordered. "We end this at the capital. One way or another, the age of tyranny dies today." The stage was set for the final confrontation. On one side, the desperate remnants of a dying dictatorship. On the other, the combined forces of freedom and truth. The galaxy held its breath and waited to see which side would inherit the future. The capital system of the hegemony looked like a fortress of stars. 5,000 warships surrounded the massive space station that had ruled the galaxy for 30,000 years. Chancellor Vextar stood in his command center, watching his final gamble unfold. "All ships report ready, Chancellor," said General Krex. "We have concentrated every loyal vessel in the Empire. If we cannot win here, we cannot win anywhere." Vextar nodded grimly. His blue skin had turned almost black with stress. "Remember, we are not just fighting for the hegemony. We are fighting to save the galaxy from human domination." But even as he spoke the words, Vextar knew they were lies. The humans had shown mercy to every world that surrendered. They had shared technology and medicine freely. They had kept their promise to liberate, not conquer. Admiral Martinez approached the capital system with 3,000 human ships and twice as many vessels from allied species. The combined fleet stretched across space like a river of light. On his flagship, he studied the enemy positions with Commander Jake Morrison, who had returned from his scouting mission. "They have the advantage of position," Morrison said. "The space station has massive defensive systems. Those 5,000 ships are arranged in perfect formation." "But they are fighting for a lie," Martinez replied. "Our people are fighting for freedom. That makes all the difference." Captain Amy Stone coordinated with resistance fighters throughout the capital system. Her agents had been working for weeks to prepare for this moment. "Admiral, we have confirmation. The mind control systems are concentrated in the central tower of the station. If we can destroy those transmitters, the hegemony troops will begin thinking clearly for the first time in decades. Dr. Kate Murphy had made a terrible discovery in her research. Admiral, the hegemony leadership has been using chemical control on their own species. Not just the conquered populations, but their own people. Many of those soldiers do not even know they are being controlled. Martinez felt sick. The scope of the hegemony's evil was beyond anything he had imagined. They had enslaved entire species, including their own people. Then we save them too. All weapons on minimal power. We disable their ships, but we do not kill unless we have no choice. The battle began when a hegemony patrol challenged the approaching fleet. Martinez tried to negotiate, but Vic Star ordered his forces to attack. The largest space battle in galactic history erupted in seconds. Human ships flowed through the enemy, formation like water through stone. Their advanced technology allowed them to disable enemy vessels without destroying them. Each hegemony ship that was neutralized meant lives saved and minds that could be freed. But the hegemony fought with desperate fury. They knew this was their last chance to maintain power. Energy beams and missile swarms filled space as 5,000 ships tried to overwhelm the human fleet through sheer numbers. Commander Morrison led a strike force toward the space station. His mission was to reach the mind control transmitters and shut them down. But the station's defenses were massive, designed to stop entire fleets. "Jake, you have incoming," called Lieutenant Commander Sam Davis from his escort ship. 50 fighters closing on your position." Morrison's ship danced through the enemy fire, its advanced shields absorbing everything the hegemony could throw at it. "Sam, take your squadron and clear me a path. I am going in." The human fighters swept through the hegemony defenses like a storm. Their pilots had trained for 30,000 years for this moment. Each one was a master of their craft, flying ships that responded to thought as much as touch. On the space station, Chancellor Vextar watched his perfect formation crumble. Ship after ship went dark as human weapons precisely disabled their systems. His empire was dying before his eyes. "Chancellor," said Dr. Yenth, his chief scientist, "perhaps we should consider surrender. The humans are showing mercy to our crews." Vextar turned on the elderly alien with rage. "Never. I would rather see the galaxy burn than submit to human rule." He activated the station's final weapon, a massive gravity bomb that would destroy everything within a light year, including his own forces. But Dr. Yenth had seen enough madness. The old scientist tackled Vextar, fighting for control of the weapon. Morrison's ship broke through the station's outer defenses and landed in the central hangar. He led a team of Marines through corridors filled with hegemony troops. But something strange was happening. Many of the enemy soldiers were laying down their weapons and looking around in confusion. "The transmitters are weakening," reported Dr. Murphy from her analysis station. "The battle damage is disrupting the mind control systems." Morrison reached the central tower and found chaos. Hegemony officers were fighting each other as some broke free from mental conditioning. In the command center, he found Chancellor Vextar struggling with Dr. Yenth over a control panel. "Stop!" Morrison shouted, but Vextar pulled a weapon. "You will not take my empire." The mad dictator screamed, but before he could fire, one of his own guards shot him. The blue-skinned soldier looked at his weapon in horror as his mind cleared for the first time in decades. "What have we done?" The guard whispered. "What have we all done?" Dr. Yenth shut down the mind control transmitters with shaking hands. Across the space station and throughout the fleet, hegemony troops began to remember who they really were. Many threw down their weapons and wept for the crimes they had committed while under mental control. The battle ended not with explosions, but with silence. Ship after ship in the hegemony fleet powered down their weapons as their crews regained their free will. Some tried to surrender. Others begged for forgiveness. a few unable to cope with what they had done, simply shut down their systems and waited for judgment. Admiral Martinez opened a communication channel to the entire system. The war is over. The hegemony has fallen. But we are not here as conquerors. We are here as liberators. Every being in this system is free to choose their own path. Captain Brooks began the massive task of coordinating with dozens of species to build a new government. Representatives from across the galaxy gathered on the captured space station to write a new charter of freedom. We call it the Galactic Confederation, Brooks explained to the assembled delegates. Every species has an equal voice. Every world chooses its own government. No one rules over anyone else without consent. The negotiations took months, but the result was everything humanity had dreamed of. A galaxy where cooperation replaced domination, where knowledge was shared instead of hoarded, where diversity was celebrated rather than feared. Jake Morrison stood on the observation deck of the rebuilt station, now renamed Liberty Station. Below him, ships from 100 different species came and went in peaceful trade. Children who had been born in slavery were learning to read and write. Scientists from different worlds worked together on projects that would benefit everyone. Amy Stone had established the first integrated colony on a restored world near Old Earth. Humans and aliens worked side by side, building something new and beautiful. The old divisions were healing, replaced by friendships that crossed species lines. Dr. Murphy opened hospitals throughout the galaxy, training alien doctors in advanced human medicine while learning from alien healing techniques. The exchange of knowledge was making everyone stronger and healthier. Admiral Martinez retired to become the first Secretary General of the Confederation. His job was not to rule, but to facilitate cooperation between member worlds. It was exactly the kind of leadership humanity had always believed in. As the years passed, the galaxy bloomed with new life and possibility. The scars left by 30,000 years of tyranny slowly healed. Children grew up knowing freedom as their birthright. The future stretched ahead bright with promise. Humanity had returned not as conquerors, but as teachers, showing the galaxy that cooperation was stronger than control, that truth was more powerful than lies, and that freedom was worth any sacrifice. The age of the hegemony was over. The age of the Confederation had begun.